We're good. Yes. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. How are you doing?
It's so good. I'm happy to be here. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you so much. And how is weather in Atlanta, isn't it? You're currently in Atlanta?
2 weeks ago, there was ice on the ground and snow, and last week it was 75 and sunny, and today it's 40 degrees. So it's a little bit of everything.
So, if you like, we would love to start with your background related to this acting life. Like, in which part of your life did you decide to go for acting? How was that process for you?
Absolutely. So for me, I was very fortunate to be exposed to the arts at a young age. So around the age of 6 years old, I started competitive figure skating. And from there, I transitioned all throughout the dance world. I went to figure skating, to dance, and I went to musical theater. And during my time in musical theater, I realized that between acting, singing, and dancing, my maiden love lied in acting. So around age 15, I really started taking acting a lot more seriously. I went to New York and I did a training program with Broadway Artists Alliance. I was an acting major. And from there, I was fortunate to get my first agent and keep auditioning. And yeah, now I'm here.
Excellent, Josie. And do you remember like your first project, like the first major role you got within this acting life?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh. The first, I guess, big project I had booked was a web series called No Rest for the Wicked. It was an independent, lower budget series, but it was my first time getting cast in a lead role, and I got to be on set with some of the coolest people I've ever met for about 3 months. And that was where I feel like I got a lot of my foundation in terms of learning how to be on set and manage, call times and just manage really how to work a set.
Oh, okay. And now that you mention all of these dynamics of acting, what is your usual like process or method in order to learn like the script? How do you do that?
For me, it depends on the project, and it depends on how much time I have with the script. I've worked on projects where I book it on a Monday and I shoot it on a Friday. So in a case where it's a faster turnaround, it's a lot of just studying, like repetition and repeating the lines till I have them, and then after that, implementing script analysis and kind of acting on instinct. If I have more time, for example, I did a project called Sugarcane. I had about 6 months of pre-production. I was able to meet one of my co-stars early on, and we would have weekly prep sessions together. We would discuss our characters, discuss our dynamic, and iron out those details.
Wow, excellent, Josie. And now, related to your projects, which one would you say is your favorite? Like right now, this 2020 until 2025.
Oh, I have to pick a favorite. That's like picking a favorite child. I would say, oh, that's hard. That's so hard. Can I tie? Can I have two tie? Is that okay? Or do I have to be one? So I would have to say I did a project that hasn't been released yet, but I shot it through 2023 and 2024. It's called Sugarcane. I'm very excited for that to come out. And the other one would probably have to be My Family's Killer Affairs, which came out on Lifetime on January 24th, 2025.
And I am glad you mentioned this My Family's Killer Affairs, because it is my understanding that you worked with Bella Carlson, isn't it?
I love Bella. Yes, I did.
Because last year, 2024, we had an episode with Bella Carlson.
Did you really?
She's the coolest.
She's literally the coolest person ever. I love her.
So, related to this acting life and your personal life as well, we also would love to know, how did you tend to organize it? How did you deal with it?
It's definitely a hard thing to balance, right? Because in the industry, you're kind of unemployed until you're not. And so when a project comes, it's kind of like you drop everything to pursue that project. Now, I am very fortunate in life to have friends and family that really support me and understand what I'm doing. So for me, it's never necessarily been an issue of having to balance. It's just been an issue of having to more so explain and have people understand that when I do book, I might not be as present. I'll have to be working on a set. But simultaneously, my family and my friends are the most important things in my life. So I will never put a project above them. I will just do the best I can to explain kind of what the industry entails and how sometimes I can move a little quicker than some other jobs.
Oh, and I found it really interesting that you mentioned that your family and friends. I would love to know how they react. How do you react, or the environment, your friends, your family, when it comes with a project that you may put on the TV or in your laptop, in your iPhone? How does that works for you and your family and friends?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said before, I think I'm the luckiest person on this earth for the people I have in my life. So I live in Atlanta, and all of my family is in North Carolina or in some other states. And when, for example, my family's Killer Affairs dropped, they all had a watch party. I couldn't go because I don't live there, but they had a watch party and they sent me a video of them watching it. It was the sweetest thing. And my friends here, they're also actors and they are incredible performers, and they threw a watch party for me so that we could kind of celebrate. So it's a big support circle.
And now that you say all of this, the screening, for example, do you enjoy watching yourself on the big screen, or are you those kind of persons that you just don't want to see yourself on the big screen?
I'm a self-critical person when it comes to my acting. I love my craft, and I believe that myself and every performer should stand by their work, but simultaneously you're always working to improve yourself. So I'm self-critical when it comes out, but I'm also learning to look at my work with a lens of love, because it's not only my project, right? It's the cast, it's the crew, it's the director. So I celebrate it more as a piece of art versus my performance, if that makes sense. And that's what makes it enjoyable, is knowing all the love and all the hard work that went into it.
Wow, excellent, Josie, once more. And also related to this acting life, until now, which aspects would you consider like the easiest and the hardest of this profession, like to you?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think the hardest one is kind of the obvious one, and that is just this industry is filled with a lot of rejection, because you audition for countless TV shows and movies, but at the end of the day, one person get the job. And maybe it's you, maybe it's not you, whatever's for you, won't pass you by, but it's still never a fun feeling to not get a role. So I think learning how to navigate rejection is probably one of the hardest parts.
Yes.
But then one of the easiest parts too is getting to immerse yourself in the audition process, because when you truly just love the craft and love acting, every opportunity to perform is so beautiful. So it's like two at the same spectrum. The absolute love for it makes it easy, but loving something and not always getting it is the hard part.
Wow, excellent. Once more, Josie, you're just killing it. Okay. And two final questions related to all of this first part. One is like the process, now that you mentioned all of these castings. If you don't get casted, what do you usually do? Do you have a ritual when you don't get like a part, or you just forget it? And
yeah, I mean, it depends, because when it comes to auditions, sometimes I'll like send it in and I just never hear back, and because I never hear back, I kind of just forget that I auditioned for it, so it doesn't necessarily affect me, if that makes sense. But when I make it to these producer sessions or these callbacks or like final selections and I don't get, it's a little harder, because you know that you were a contender. But I'm a big believer in mindset, and because I've been doing this for a while, I've been able to kind of build up a healthier mindset, and I'm just kind of go into it the mindset of what's for me is for me, what's not for me is not for me, and I'm grateful when it happens, and I'm grateful when it doesn't happen, because that means something else is going to open up.
Wow, I love that mindset you just show me. Wow, okay. And the second one, in which kind of project would you love to work or be part of? Maybe thriller, another thriller, a comedy, a rom-com?
Yeah.
Which one would you?
My dream genre, and it has been the same my entire career, is period pieces. I love period pieces, Little Women, Pride and Prejudice. Any period piece is just, it calls to me. I love period pieces. That's like my end goal.
Wow. And also, do you have like a director or an actress you would love to work with?
So many. My goodness. In terms of directors, Greta Gerwig comes to mind. She is my favorite. Little Women 19 is my favorite film of all time. I know this is a basic answer, but Steven Spielberg is a mastermind. I think he's absolutely incredible. And Mike Flanagan did Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. I think he is just brilliant and he is a mastermind and everything to gold. So that would be a huge honor for him.
Wow, and a really interesting answer is the first time within these episodes I heard about Spielberg and Hill House, Blind Manor.
Yeah.
That are my top series like for the past like 5 to 10 years. I love both. Wow, excellent.
So good. They're so good.
And now we have to move to this second part.
Yeah.
This is like a retrospective. I'm gonna tell you a couple of your projects, and you're gonna tell me like the coolest or the most interesting story related to this project.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
Okay. Number one, Sugarcane. A really cool one.
Sugarcane is really cool. So I am under an NDA for that project still. It hasn't been released, but it's really cool. We partnered with Buffalo 8 Films and Postmortem. So that's recently announced, and our press release came out today, which you can read about on Postmortem's Instagram. But I play Mari, and she is a survivor at heart. And I think the coolest thing about filming this project is it's not necessarily based on real life characters, but it's based on lived experiences. So for myself and my co-star Lacey, we're playing trafficking survivors and trafficking victims. So just the heart and the research that went to the project to truly honor those girls that have been through it was, for me, life-changing, because that's scary subject to touch. And when you really divulge yourself into that mindset and into the reality of it, it's scary, but it's rewarding to come out on the other side.
Wow. The second one, My Family's Killer Affairs.
That one's hard because I loved so much about that project. I would say the biggest thing that stands out to me about that one is the cast. There was so much love on that set, whether it was between cast members, between cast and crew, our production team. It was just so joyous to be there and be with everyone. Not to mention, everybody brought their A game. Burke Floyd, my father, and I would consider that man a second father figure in real life. He's just brilliant. Obviously, Bella is not only beautiful, she's extremely talented and kind. Chris Brooks played Thomas. He's a wonderful talent. He's still very near and dear in my life. Cabby Borders, my aunt, time to go with, but just the love on that set, and especially the crew. The crew are some of the most hardworking people that go so unrecognized on a movie set. So just shout out to them because they were brilliant to work with.
Excellent. I found it really interesting to mention the crew.
Yeah.
Wow, so cool, Josie. Okay. Now the third one, If Only, a short film as Sally, isn't it?
Yes, If Only holds a very special place in my heart. As I mentioned before, I love period pieces, and that was my first time booking a period piece. So that film was set in the 1930s, and the coolest thing about working that set was the costumes. We had an amazing special effects artist who did a brilliant job. We had an amazing hair and makeup team who just made us all look very worldly, very from the 30s. And to be in that environment was brilliant. That ended up going to, Cannes International. I forgot the name for a second. And competing. So that was really incredible to work on. And Tony White is an incredible performer. I met him on that set. He's now my best friend in Atlanta. So that was a brilliant project.
Wow, so cool that you have to get like friends once a project is done, because some actors and actresses had said to me that it comes like a kind of like a depression after a project comes to an end, isn't it? Like
it's very abrupt, because when you're on a set, you're working 12 to 16-hour work days every day for a few weeks to a few months, and then the project wraps and you're just done. Like, you're out of movie land. And it's so cool when you're in that environment and you can make friends so quickly, but when those friendships exceed just set life and you start hanging out in real life, those are my favorites, because you share such a unique experience together because no one else can work on the movie once it's wrapped, right? Like once it's wrapped, it's done. So it's like that's a you and you thing forever, and it's a really special bond. So I'm very grateful to have experienced it.
Wow, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing us this information, Josie. And the final one, no rest for the wicked.
Yes. So that was very early on in my career. That is a web series that was picked up by Amazon Prime, which is really cool. And I had the honor of playing Kelly Donovan. So she's a final girl. It was my first kind of go at doing a horror genre, which was really, really fun. Mm-hmm. Just thinking about the project, I was 18 when I did it. So that was the first time I was able to work legally as an adult. And that experience of itself was different because there's a lot of rules and regulations. Like your parents have time restraints. So being thrown into like the real world of acting and having to go overtime and kind of figure things out for myself was a huge learning experience. And I'm grateful for that project because it gave me work on the bigger sets I can work on. And not to mention the coolest people. I love people and sets are fun.
Wow, excellent, excellent, Josie. Thank you so much for sharing us this information, this second part. And now the third part, quickies like Q&A stuff.
Let's do it.
Okay, excellent. The first one is, what is something most people don't know about you?
Ooh, I got it. I am an avid line dancer and a swing dancer. I love the honky tonk.
Okay. Excellent answer, Josie. Another one, have you ever Googled yourself?
I have Googled myself, yes. I try not to because it is a very opinionated industry, and I think when you're getting others' opinions, you forget what your own is about yourself. So I try to refrain, but every so often I get curious as to what pops up.
Okay. And do you have something interesting you found related to
something? This is a really, really random one, but back in 2023, I guess there's something called Super Hair Awards. I've never heard of it. Somebody nominated me and I made it to like one of the final rounds, and it's just like honoring cool hair, I guess. And I didn't know. Thank you. So whoever did that, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Wow. Okay. That's really interesting. Really cool. Wow. Bella Carlson said me about her smile, best smile in Florida, I believe. I found it like really similar.
No, it's a great smile. She's just the prettiest person. So cool.
Exactly, Josie. Okay, another one. What is one TV show you can watch over and over?
A show I can watch over and over? That's a good question. I can watch a lot of shows. I'm a big romance person. I love teen rom-coms. So stuff like The Summer I Turned Pretty or My Life with the Walter Boys. Those are like Netflix and Amazon Prime, I believe. I love that genre. I love that style. So even if I've seen it, I just keep coming back to it.
Wow, excellent. And do you watch on the TV, on your cell phone?
It depends. Sometimes I'm like on my laptop in bed, just curled up with my dog Stuart, and then sometimes I'm just in the living room. But I prefer the cozy being in my bedroom, I will say.
Okay, excellent, Josie. I have another one for you. What do you usually like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I absolutely love working out. I'm currently it'll be my half marathon, which will be pretty fun. If I'm not working out, I love my friends. I have a really, really good group of people, and we are always so busy. So when we have time to hang out, I always go to a coffee shop. I'm going horseback riding in a few days with one of my friends. So just making sure I'm making time be with the people I love, take care of my body, and what prioritizes my free time.
Wow, excellent, Josie, excellent. Okay, another one. If you could meet any other famous person from the present or the past, which one would you choose?
That That's hard. That's so hard. I mean, I think the coolest person that has passed would be Jesus. I think that would be so cool. But a lot, um, Julie Andrews has always been an acting icon for me. Her work is brilliant. From her whole career is just brilliant, and I would love to just sit down, have to pick her brain on acting, and done.
Wow, excellent and really cool and interesting answer, both
Yeah.
Jesus and Julie Andrews. Excellent, excellent, Josie. Okay, and another one. If you have to eat like one meal for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
I'd eat any one meal. I love food. That's another hard question. I love, I don't know. You know what? I make a really good steak. I love red meat, so it'd have to be steak. Like steak and potatoes and salad would be it for me.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve? When you're sitting at a red light and then it turns green and the person doesn't go and you have to honk. I like honking at people. I'm being mean, but I'm like, move your car. And then, yeah. We're full of not the best drivers, so.
Excellent, excellent, and really fun answer, Josie. Okay, and another one. Do you have a favorite birthday memory?
Favorite birthday memory? You're asking really good questions. Let's
Thank
see.
you.
Of course. I'm like running through all the birthdays I've ever had. Honestly, this is gonna sound really silly, but when I was in second grade, I was obsessed with like Tinkerbell and fairies. As you can tell, I still love a good fairy. But I have incredible parents, and because I was so obsessed with Tinkerbell, my mom made these like fairy treasure baskets and invited all my friends over, but she hid them in the like woods. We had this little like wooded area, and we got to go on like a scavenger hunt and find little like hidden fairy treasures. And for a little girl, that's the coolest experience. So I think that has to be the birthday party I've ever had, just because my mom made it so special.
And another one. What is your goal like for the next 3 years?
Next 3 years? That's a good one. You're really great. I
Thank you.
have to say, with Sugarcane releasing, I can't say a lot. There is potential that it's not the last of that cast you'll be seeing. So within the next 3 years, I would love to be working with them again. And I would love to play. I had the privilege of doing Kelly Donovan in No Rest, which is a series. But I'd like to be my first series regular on an HBO or Netflix show. That's a big goal for sure. And potentially, it isn't. I might be moving to LA.
Do you have like a favorite holiday, like Christmas, Halloween?
That is also. I love a good holiday. I love Halloween, and I love like the September through October vibe of when it starts to get a little bit colder. I love pumpkin spice. I'm basic, so I love pumpkin season. But then I love the Christmas and going home for the holidays. So just basically September through Christmas, like the big holiday months, that is my time of the year. I love those 4 months.
And also, I would love to know finally within this third part, which accounts are your favorite to follow on social media, or how do you tend to use social media?
Yeah, my favorite accounts, in terms of acting, I love following production companies and casting directors, because they typically drop updates about the industry, and they also just drop good information for actors that's currently casting and just industry updates. I'm a big fan of following my friends. They're the coolest people. They post the coolest content. But when it comes to social media, I'd like to use it as my digital diary. I think that's what a lot of people like to use it for. But what I would like to do is kind of rebrand my social media to truly reflect my personality, because I feel like social media a lot of the time. And we are in an industry where it's very tough and it's very competitive. So I want to cultivate my Instagram to be a safe space for and to be the most authentic stuff.
Okay, and within this third part, I would love to know if you have a specific place inside the US that it is like your favorite. Do you have a place that it is?
Yes. I mean, not at home. My favorite place is definitely my house in North Carolina when I get to go with my family. But my like happy place to go visit and to just relax for a little bit is Charleston, South Carolina. I love Charleston. It's so historic. It's so beautiful. And it's so walkable. I love walking. I love being outside. So everything about Charleston is just perfect for me.
Charleston. Wow, I found it really interesting. It's like the Patriot style, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like this. Wow. Okay, okay. And do you have a favorite like place or all of it?
I mean, what is it called? I can't think. Oh, the Battery. The Battery in Charleston. It's this big. It's kind of near the historic district, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's kind of along the water. It's a beautiful walking trail. There's a few cobblestone streets and just huge historic houses. And just being in that environment is so refreshing and beautiful to be in.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will look into it, man. I will Google it later.
The one that is currently working on being released is Sugarcane, which I know we talked about a bit. So I can't release a lot of details on it yet, but we the 2025 release date. It is Postmortem Film's first feature film through Buffalo 8, which is very, very exciting, and different details are being announced in weeks. So definitely keep an eye out on their social media and my social media for sure.
Okay, excellent, excellent, Josie. And if you have a message to your younger self, which words would you love to say to Josie from the past?
Josie from the past. There's a lot. Josie, being in an industry like this, there's a lot to learn. But if I had to tell little Josie one thing, I think it would be to slow down and enjoy the process. Because it's kind of like I said, you're always auditioning. If you're not auditioning, it's because you're on a project. Once that project ends, you're back to auditioning. And it's just, it can feel like this endless feel of trying to get work and stay active. Mm-hmm. But the really beautiful moments that I've gotten to experience in this industry is when I truly slowed down, just worked on my craft, coming from a place of true love, and watched the results just foster from there. So I think I would just let her know it's okay to slow down, it's okay to enjoy life, and it's okay to run your own race, because your race, your path is meant for you. It doesn't matter who's running next to you, who's running in front, who's running behind. What matters is that you are running your own race, and you got to run your race.
Wow, a really cool, interesting, and powerful message to Josie from the past. Wow. Excellent, excellent, Josie. And finally, if you could give us your social media account so we can follow you, that would be also really cool.
Yeah, I would love for you guys to follow me. So my personal Instagram is JOSIE JULIETTE WERT. It is the same across all platforms. I'm also on TikTok. Kind of, it got banned and unbanned, so I can't post yet. There's a weird thing going on, but I have content up there that is also JOSIE JULIETTE WERT. And I have a YouTube, which is JOSIE JULIETTE WERT. So I would love to see you guys on there.
Excellent, excellent, Josie. Thank you so much for giving us this space, this opportunity. And I wanted to know if you have any plans like for today.
For today? Yes, actually, after we wrap this discussion, I have an audition for a TV show and a commercial. So I'm going with a friend. I have a very talented friend named Jordan Myers, who is in a movie that just came out, Teenagers, and I will be going over to her house, and we're going to do some auditions together. Some of my auditions are via Zoom, but she also lives in Atlanta, so she's like 15 minutes down the road. I'm going to hop in the car and go see her.
Wow, excellent, excellent, Josie. Wow, excellent. And do you have any plans like for the weekend, or it is like?
Yeah, no, I do have plans for the weekend. It is Valentine's Day on Friday. Love Valentine's Day. After Halloween and Christmas, Valentine's is my favorite, and I am spending it with my lovely boyfriend. following that, Saturday is going to be probably very chill. I'll go to Bible study in the morning and then have a day off to do some self-tapes in the afternoon. And then Sunday morning, my group of friends is doing church and a brunch after church for Valentine's, and just some wins we've had lately. So, yeah.
Wow. Sounds like fun. Sounds really cool, really interesting. Okay. Thank you so much, Josie. I have to say that it has been like a really cool episode with you. This is the episode number 47 within this Madison Talks. And I am so honored to have the chance to talk with you.
Thank you for your time. You are such a cool person to talk to, and you ask such insightful questions. So I've had such a privilege to chat with you tonight, truly.
Thank you so much again, Josie, and I hope you have an amazing Monday.
Thank you. You too. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye.